This is the Global Podcast Network, where executives and professionals connect, share, and inspire. Stay tuned for the conversations that drive success.
Hey, welcome back, everyone. We are going to learn a lot today about dog training and getting your dog to be where you want it in terms of behavior and so much more. We got an expert. He's got some friends with him here today as well, and he's the owner-operator of Dare2Bond Dog Training. That would be Jeff McJunkin joining us on the program today. How are you doing?
Oh, very good, Steve. You doing all right today?
Yeah, well, I'd be doing better if I had that warmer weather that you have there in Georgia, it looks like.
Oh, yeah, it's pretty. The cold snap left us finally, but I'm not letting it trick me. March, it'll hit again.
What do you think? Daytime temp right now, what do you think?
Right now it's in the 50s.
Nice.
So we got lucky.
Isn't it interesting that when you get that cold snap, even in the 50s feels like 70s?
Oh yeah, it's wonderful.
Right?
Yeah.
Beautiful.
Yeah, around here, this is that false heat up, that false warming. It always tricks us.
So one thing we're going to talk about today, and I'm intrigued, is the treat for your dog. Now, if I look in the cabinet at my place, I got a couple of different ones. One of them smells a little bit better to me than the other one. A little more natural, real, if you will. And then, of course, you have the real deal, like meat, chicken that you got out of your refrigerator. Not all treats are created equally. And we're not selling anything here. We're not selling treats. But it seems like, Jeff, that your dog knows the difference.
Oh, yes, definitely. And every dog has their preferences. So like my dogs, they prefer the homemade treats, of course. So I use boneless, skinless chicken. I'll bake that with no seasoning, no nothing. You don't want to put seasoning on any of the meat you give your dogs.
Sure.
It's bad for their digestion. But so just boneless, skinless chicken breast. I cook it at 400 for an hour, and then I cut it into small cubes. And even those, each cube is a repetition of 5. So it's kind of like doing a workout with your dog. When you're teaching them to sit, you'll do 5 reps. You do 5, so you break it into 5s. And I also use sirloin steak. I'll go and get those cheap sirloin steaks that are real thin, and I'll just cook those enough to kill any bacteria and stuff, and no seasoning, and just cut them up tiny, tiny. You don't want to fill your dog up on treats while you're training them because you want to get the most training you can out of it. And I also use a recipe for something called tuna fudge, which is just a can of tuna with some Parmesan cheese, an egg, and some flour. And you bake that. And that they love that. And so for my dogs, steak is the least valuable. Chicken is second. And then number 1 is the tuna fudge. And the store-bought treats, I use these little training bits. I've got some in my pocket. But I break them up very, very small. So like this one heart, I don't know if you can see that very well. Mm-hmm. That will become 4 to 5 treats. Even for a German Shepherd. Yeah.
So they just took off. They saw something, and I don't know what it was, whether it was a cat. It looked like it was white, but I can't tell.
We've actually got coyotes showing up around here, so they've been going crazy for them lately. And it could have been a squirrel. It could have been a cat.
It was something, from what I can tell, something smaller, but I can't really tell you the color because it was in the sun, so it looked lighter. It could have been a white cat, but it could have been a squirrel too. Wow.
Probably a bird. If it got in the fence, it was probably a bird.
Wow. Okay,
yeah,
so
my long-haired German Shepherd, she's a puppy. She's only 9 months, so she still goes after stuff like that. She hasn't learned she can't catch them.
Yeah. Tell me what you just said there in order of is that what dogs prefer, the order that you just said?
That's what mine prefer. Every dog is different. So when they're treat oriented, though, I have found that a majority of dogs really love the tuna fudge and the chicken if they don't have a chicken allergy. If they have a chicken allergy, I would go to turkey. It tends to be most dogs. It's not a food that causes allergic reactions.
That
love chicken.
You put steak last. It sounded like.
Yes. I thought that they would. When I first started, I thought dogs would just go crazy for steak, but without the seasoning, nah. Not really. So it's the bottom of the totem pole. Yeah.
Wow. I think mine prefers steak, but he'll eat anything. But I want to go back on something you said a little while ago in terms of cooking it properly. So this is about a month ago, and I had some cold cuts, roast beef, and I saved a little bit for my dog, and I had eaten it like 3 days before. It was fine. I gave it to him, and a larger amount than I normally do, but he was a good boy, and there was a reason I gave it to him. I'm pretty certain, can't be 100%, but pretty certain that he got sick after eating that roast beef, and it may have gone a little too long in the refrigerator. Again, it wasn't, I would never even come close to giving it to him if I even had a suspicion, but it was like maybe 7 days from when I had bought it, and I figured, all right, that's okay. So they are sensitive to bacteria, apparently. I can't think of any other reason he would have gotten sick.
Were there any seasonings on it, like Lipton onion soup mix, things like that?
Straight out roast beef. I've given him roast beef before. If I'm eating some, I throw him a little bit, just as a little treat. Okay. We were up all night, and every couple of hours he had to throw up, and he would wake me up, and he would want me to take him outside, which I give him a lot of credit. They're so smart. And it had snowed, and he took me outside, and he was searching for some grass to eat to make his belly feel better. But so instinctually, again, there was snow everywhere. He found a little spot by a mailbox, and he was going at it and eating it. And I was like, let him do what he's got to do. But he was fine after that. It was all fine. But I brought it up only because sometimes we don't think that they're affected by bacteria, bad meat, and things like that.
Yeah, a common misconception is that they have cast iron stomachs.
Right.
And really they don't. They're just as sensitive to different foods and things as we are. And if there was a chunk of fat in that maybe you didn't see, that could have caused it. Anything like that. Yeah. Yeah, when you change their diet, it can give them diarrhea and stuff. So like if you're changing dog foods or going from kibble to human food, if you're going to start home cooking, you have to slowly introduce that, or they'll get diarrhea and get sick at their stomach and stuff like that.
Yeah. And I'm very careful about what I feed him. I just want to state that. I don't just throw anything at him. I don't even give him people food. I'm going to say almost never. I really don't. And I need to start because, hearing you with chicken and everything, this is just a one-off. I know he loves steak. So I was like, all right, let me give him a little roast beef. But you got to make sure it's fresh, I guess.
I'm real careful about the people food. You got to avoid the things that are poisonous or cause allergic reactions. Every dog is different, but so anything with onions in it, and off the top of my head, I'm drawing a blank right now. I've got a list. Google is very helpful on that. There's a lot of things you wouldn't think are bad for dogs that are.
Wow.
Yeah.
So the treat that you were referring to that you break up, which is there a brand name that you prefer?
This one, I don't use it very often. This was just really handy because I didn't have any of the others prepared. I'm out. But these are Blue Buffalo training bits.
Okay.
They're one of the better ones. They have some ingredients I can't pronounce. I try to avoid those, but I had a bag of these laying around. And so every once in a while it doesn't really hurt, but I wouldn't feed it to them constantly. And to them, this is like a super treat because they hardly ever get it.
Okay.
Kind of like letting your kid have candy at the candy store. It's the same concept. They're like, "Oh my gosh, Dad's giving me those."
I'm really surprised that they know the difference. They're not stupid.
No, they are not. They're very smart. Yeah.
So, are you saying, Jeff, that when you give them treats that they really, really want, you can get a better outcome in terms of training?
Oh goodness, yes. When you go like with steak, if I'm trying to teach them something new, like I'm trying to teach Shyla to speak, for steak, she's like, maybe I might do it. When I go to chicken, she's like, half the time she'll do it, but tuna fudge, man, or these little training bits, she's starting to respond. And, but yeah, they definitely do. They will work more for things that they enjoy more. Same thing with toys and playing tug or fetch. Some dogs respond better to that. So if they like to play fetch more than they do tug, you'll obviously get a better response in your training if you use, the tug.
Can you give examples how you might give a treat, the best way to do it, all of that?
Always from the hand if you can. Some people like to teach their dog to catch, which all mine know to catch. But that takes away the interaction and, for lack of a better word, the command, the connection of knowing the bond that you're training.
Wow.
So I always feed from the hand, little small bites, little bitty. Smaller the better.
I'm a big proponent of I just throw it because I love he never misses. It's almost like a circus trick, like when you're out somewhere.
It's a trick. Yeah.
Yeah, but I see what your point there is, that you're truly bonding with them when you're physically giving it to them.
Yes, you get a different response out of them, and you'll get a much better response if you're training a new behavior, like if you're teaching them to sit, handing them the treat from your fingers versus throwing it to them.
Wow.
And if you have a dog that tends to bite a lot, like when you go to give them the treat, they'll nip your fingers. Take your middle finger, and as you give it to them, raise it up and touch the roof of their mouth, and it will stop that.
Wow. Okay. We're learning a lot here today.
Will be give them the treat like this, and then raise that finger up and kind of tickle the top of the roof of their mouth. And they don't like that, so they'll learn that if they go for the fingers, they get tickled on the roof of the mouth, and they don't like that. They'll stop. They'll start gently taking it.
Wow. This is fantastic. This is, we minimize, I'm just throwing them a treat, whatever. Thanks for doing, what I asked you to do. Here's another treat.
Yeah.
There's much more involved in this. I'm seeing here, Jeff.
Well, if it's stuff they already know, like if you've already weaned them off the treat, so they're not treat dependent, like you'd ask them to sit and they sit, and it's been a while since you gave them a treat, throw them a treat. That's fine. But when you're teaching them to sit or to down or to come when called, you want to give it direct from your hand.
Gotcha. Yes. Okay, beautiful.
A little power steering here. Sit. Good girl. Yes. Sorry, that's my Shyla. She's the newest.
How old is she?
9 months.
She's 9. Okay.
9 months.
Wow.
Yeah.
She's beautiful and big for 9 months.
65 pounds right now. Yeah.
Wow.
Oh yeah. My other one, my standard German Shepherd, she's a long hair. My standard is 85. He's a big boy.
How old is he?
3 years.
Gotcha.
And I plan on breeding them. That's the goal. What is it, girl?
So I saw that you followed up the treat, giving the treat for doing what you asked with a head pet and praise. Is that always the way you should follow it up?
Well, it's stuff she already knows how to do. I'm just reinforcing right now. When I'm teaching them, I will just give the positive marker. Yes. With the body language, hands up. That's what I teach because it's a very clear language. The dog knows I did it right. It makes you look excited. You almost can't help but smile when you do it, which they like. So like if I were to ask her to, Charlotte, come. Yes, good girl. Yes. And we'll head pat and we'll praise. And we'll do that repeatedly. Charlotte, come. Yes, girl. She wasn't looking at me, so no need to do that. Charlotte, sit. Yes, good job. Always positive tone of voice. There we go. Free treat.
Free treat.
Yeah. And now they all come. I got 3 dogs out here with me right now, both my German Shepherds and my Jack Russell.
Yeah. It's feeding time, apparently, they're thinking.
Yeah, they know I've got the treats out. She's the only one that still comes around all the time for them because the others, they're not treat dependent anymore. She still thinks that means we're working.
Now, even if they're not treat dependent, that doesn't mean that you can't teach them new stuff, right?
Correct. All treat dependent means is I don't have to use a treat every time I want them to perform a cue or a command.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Can you always, let's say the other dog is 3 years old. Can you even think, you know what, let's see if I can get that dog to bring me something or whatever it might be. Do you just randomly just think to yourself, yeah, you know what, let me see if I can teach this command to that dog?
Yeah, the age, as long as the dog is motivated, you can teach it. The age doesn't really matter. I guess the whole thing about it, you can't teach an old dog new tricks. I've found that's, if you know what motivates the dog, you can teach him to do something. Maybe not everything. I wouldn't try to teach a 7 or 8 year old dog to, jump through hoops and do agility. That's asking a bit much, but within reason, you can definitely teach them new behaviors. Yes.
Now, when you say new behaviors and a dog that could be 5 years old or more, whatever it might be, when you say what motivates them, if their treats do it for them, is that the motivation right there?
Motivation just means, well, all I mean by that is what the dog is willing to work for. So what
Okay.
excites them, what gets their attention. And some dogs it's praise and love, attention and pets. Other dogs it's, a toy, playing tug or playing fetch, throw the ball. That's the reward. Others like them, they're all everything. They love it all. I can give them praise and they're just as happy as if I gave them a treat.
Wow.
Most dogs, the vast majority of dogs are food motivated.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
It's rare to run into one that's not.
Would you say, Jeff, that it should be our goal to get them to the point where they're motivated by praise, by a pet, treats as well, but you want to get them off the treats if you can?
Well, that's really not up to us. Every dog is different.
Okay.
Some dogs they praise is all they want. Others they want just treats. They'll work for treats, and that's all they'll work for. Some like mine, they'll anything as long as I'm paying attention to them. They'll accept treats, tug, fetch. I mean, anything. They just love working. But they're German Shepherds. German Shepherds love to work.
See, my dog treats. Like it's just, you can get him to do anything with treats. He's still at 8. He's still a treat dog. And and now that I'm thinking back to it, yeah, there are a few treats that he likes better than others. So now I'm going to put that on my radar in terms of level. How do you decide to give the premium treat? When do you bring that in?
So I use that for when they do exceptionally well. So, or if I've been trying to install a new behavior in a dog and it has been reluctant to do it, when it finally does it, it's like, here, bam, here's that super treat, the one you love the most because you did it. Up until then, kind of, I've even used Cheerios and things to train dogs as the low tier treat and get them to kind of respond. And once they do it that first time, like right when you ask, bam, the big treat, the one they love. And that will motivate them. It's like I said in our last podcast, to turn you into a slot machine. You're not going to pay out the jackpot every time. You'll pay out a little bit to keep them interested, but when they do it right, bam, give them the jackpot. Give them the big one.
Big win.
The one they love so much. And you'll hear other trainers talk about giving a jackpot, like trying to teach a dog to the recall when you call their name, like giving them a whole handful of treats. That's not a jackpot. That's a common mistake too. Give them the handful, but one at a time. So if you just give them the whole handful at once, they're going, oh yeah, that's a good, I got a good bit. But if you do it one at a time, handing them all of them, they're like, wow, what is going on? I'm getting one. Oh, another one. Oh, I'm getting another one. Oh, I'm getting another one.
Interesting. Okay. Yeah. And I don't think I've ever done that where it's always, they're dispersed. I wouldn't just, here's a bunch of treats, take it. You might as well just feed them,
Oh, well, I'll actually replace when I'm teaching a dog emergency recall. So like if they're chasing a squirrel or a car and you need them to return, like for safety reasons, then that's the emergency recall. So it's a word or a phrase that you use to call them only in an emergency, only every once in a while. And that's when I'll use the super jackpot to train them that. You randomly do it, once a week, twice a week for over a month or 2 months. Just every once in a while, do that. And they learn that when they hear that, oh, my master's got good stuff. Like I'm getting a huge, huge prize. So that if they do go running out in the street after something or chasing a car or whatever the reason, when you say that, they come. Like they're much more likely to break off and come to you.
What would be one of those words that you would use in that emergency situation?
Mine is return. I use return for that emergency situation. I've trained dogs on delay, a lot of curse words. Yeah, I've heard it all. Any word can be it. It can be, chaperone. Whatever. It doesn't matter. The dog doesn't know what the word literally means. It just knows it means come to me. So as long as it's a word you can remember, preferably 2 syllables or less, it'll work.
See, I've gotten over the years when my dog picks up something that he needs to drop immediately. Whether it's a bird, whether it's something he shouldn't be eating, something, that there's a reason. I just say drop it. And I say his name. His name is Tanner. Tanner, drop it. Drop it, Tanner. Drop it. And if I haven't done it in a while, maybe it takes 3 times I need to say it, and then he does. Just because. But that brings me to a question. That emergency word or words, should you practice that from time to time?
Yes, from time to time you should. Yeah, every once in a while. Once you've installed it, like once you go through the process over a month of teaching them that, then after that, just every once in a while, randomly, just do it. I mean, you could be in the next room of the house and just call them when they come. That's super treat. Every time you use it, though, you give that super treat. So in some cases, I mean, it has to be enough to replace a meal. But if it'll keep your dog safe,
Yeah.
it's well worth it. And I also recommend instead of waiting until they pick stuff up to teach them to leave it also. So I teach mine leave it, and then I teach them to drop it.
Yeah. With the drop it, he's already got it in his mouth. That's where I was going with that. But I didn't even think of, Jeff, I don't need to use that often. It's not like he picks up something and if he picks up a ball, great. He doesn't need to drop it. But I never thought of to reinforce it, because in my mind, well, I already taught you how to do it, so we're good with that. No, if you don't use that command often, like drop it or leave it, whatever it is, to reward them with the jackpot as a reminder. I didn't even think of that.
Well, for drop it, I would just randomly reward with a treat.
Sure.
Maybe a good treat that they really like.
That's what I meant, good treat.
There's no need to use the jackpot for that one. The jackpot, like I said, is for things that I would rarely use with them because I want them to really remember it. And it's an emergency, like they're going to get killed kind of thing.
So what would be a good word or words to say for a dog that, let's say, runs off? So let's say your door swung open and they bolted, and it could be a challenge. You might have traffic, whatever it might be. What would be a good command for that to tell them, come back here now?
And that's where I've taught my dogs return. I say their name and return. I don't say it mad. I'm always happy when I say it, because I want them to come to me. I don't want them to think I'm mad at them. So I don't use come. I tell them to come all the time. So that's not an emergency thing. This is a word that I only use in those situations, or when I'm reminding them it exists to, do the jackpot thing.
How would you train that word? Obviously, you don't want to open the gate or the door and chance them running where there could be traffic. How would you teach that return?
The first time I replace the meal with the jackpot of treats, and I simply call them toward me. Once they're near, I say the word, so return, and then slowly give them all the treats. Here you go, one after another, 50, 60 of them, however many they can handle. A few days later, I will say that again with them in a different room. And if I get so much as a head turned toward me, here you go. And just keep repeating that a couple of times a week. Do this over a month. Some dogs take longer. And eventually they will get to where you say that and they will come running like a torpedo from wherever they are. And that's when it's installed.
I am so all over that, Jeff. And there have, over the years, mine has gotten out. He's got out again. He got out again. It doesn't happen often, but sometimes he, bolts to the neighbors. The neighbor had a cute dog, female. So, he would go over there and just, check it out. And what would I do? I'd run in and get like the roast beef or like the, premium treat, and then run out, and I'd be like, hey, come on. And he would be interested. I'd have to throw it, maybe get him to kind of walk a little closer. I'm not doing it right. I need to establish that word and lock that in.
Yeah. Or if he turns and looks at you when he's doing stuff like that, teach him to hand target, to touch his nose to your fingers. And then you can just say touch. So what is your dog's name again?
Tanner.
So Tanner. So you could just say, Tanner, touch, and just hold your fingers out like this. And he will come running and touch your fingers with his nose, expecting a treat to be between them. That's how you train him with that. You to teach a dog touch, you take your treat and you put it between your fingers.
Mm-hmm.
And see, is anybody? Dexter, touch. And he expects to see that treat there. See?
Wow.
And it's this, the body language is this, because they recognize body language before they recognize a word. So you hold your fingers out like that with the treat in it. When they touch it, you release the treat and let them get it. You start doing it just a few inches from their nose, and then slowly increase the distance. And you'll get to the point like mine, I can do that from about a half acre away. And as long as they hear me, they will turn and look. And when they see me do that motion, that body language, and say touch, they're like a torpedo.
And can that be used in place of return? Would be the same thing?
Well, I use that for like a non-emergency recall.
Okay.
So like mine are running the fence or something. Well, except Dexter, there's a female next door that's in heat, and he kind of goes bonkers for her. But the others, if I say touch and hold my fingers down, even if they're running the fence with a neighbor dog, they will turn and look, and they come running. But if it were like them going out in traffic, I wouldn't do that. But just for something like if they're going after another dog in the backyard or something, I would, yeah.
I got to tell you, Jeff, we're skimming the surface in terms of training. I'm excited, even just what you shared today, trying that with my dog, reinforcing it and again and again. And these are, the return thing, the challenges. Again, this is just scraping the surface, but learned so much today just from that. I can't imagine if, somebody's working with you on a virtual level or even in person in Georgia where you are, what could be done? Amazing.
Oh, wow. Yeah. I throw a lot of information at clients, at students. The goal is to teach you to train your dog,
Wow.
So first I install the behavior and then I show you how to do it. And if you're present for the lesson, you're going to learn how to do it. So like if you have another dog, you can take what you learned in that one lesson with this one and apply it to your other animals, to your other dogs.
Amazing.
So you don't have to bring all of them to me. I'm not out to keep people, bringing every single one to me. I'm not trying to get rich. I'm honestly trying to help dogs.
And I appreciate that. This is just amazing. I'm serious when I say I'm looking forward to picking up some premium treats and trying, touch and return and everything else here. And again, we're just scraping the surface of what you can teach your dog. How do we connect with you, Jeff? What's the best way?
Best way is to text or call at 762-677-8636. Sorry, I think somebody's walking their dog. Yeah, good girl. She's got the good one. That's the best method. There's also my email, jeff@dare2bond.com. And there's also the website, dare and the number 2 bond.com.
Fantastic.
Phone call, text, email, that's the easiest.
Thank you for everything today. I truly appreciate it. So much to learn. I'll give you an update in a week when I get my dog. Thank you so much. I really appreciate it. Thanks for being here.
Oh, no, thank you. I look forward to next week.
And of course, thanks to your dogs. They were part.
Yeah, maybe I'll get to actually next week show the markers. I'd love to teach everybody about markers because that's basic communication with your dog. Maybe we can do that next week.
I would appreciate that. All right, looking forward.
This is the Global Podcast Network, where executives and professionals connect, share, and inspire. Stay tuned for the conversations that drive success.